Alrighty, hello everyone. Got a few people that are just loading in right now, but we are going to go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. We are excited to bring this webinar to you today. I'm Reagan Neal, an onboarding specialist here at Tap Goods. I'll be your moderator today. If you guys have any questions throughout this webinar, please just put them in the chat, and then we are going to answer those at the end. Our first presenter today is going to be Candice Leake. She is our Chief Commercial Officer at Tap Goods. She has a master's degree and digital marketing certificate from Harvard, and she's been doing SEO for over 20 years. She's founded 3 startups, all of which she grew by focusing on SEO and digital marketing. And most recently, she started Reventals, which is the largest event rental marketplace, and was acquired by Tap Goods last year. Dominique Sparkman will also be joining us. She is a relationship manager here at Tap Goods. She has experience owning a small business herself and over 15 years of experience in customer service. Just another reminder, go ahead and put any questions you have during this into the chat. We will also be sending you a video and a copy of this deck once this is over. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Candice.
Thank you, Reagan. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is our agenda for today. So we're going to briefly talk about search engine optimization and why it's important for your business. Then the meat of today's webinar will be on the specific things your company can do to rank higher. I'm going to focus on basically low-hanging fruit, stuff that you can do that doesn't take a long time that makes a big difference. Then Dominique's going to wrap up specifically for people that are currently using Tap Goods or considering Tap Goods. She's going to show you how you can achieve a lot of this SEO through the Tap Goods platform. First up, you guys probably know why search engine optimization is important. 76% of all purchases start with an online search. This could be research. It may be looking for options. It may be as simple as just finding a rental company near you that you can then call and ask questions. But 76%, and I probably think that's low, start online. So it's really important when someone goes in your area and searches for the types of items you rent or searches rental company near me, that your business shows up. If it doesn't, you don't even get a chance to earn that business. Despite the importance of SEO, less than 50% of small businesses have a defined SEO strategy. So I think it's because SEO seems like something that's daunting, or you need experience or a degree to do. You need to take a class, or you need to hire someone. But that's not the case. You can get very in-depth with SEO, but there's a lot of very simple things that you can do that will take you a long way. So that's exactly what I'm going to focus on today. Small things that make a big impact. About 85% of people use Google to search, and around 7% use Bing, and then there are a few other search engines people use. Most people will not look beyond the top 5 results. So think about when you search for something. Do you just tend to click on the things at the top, or do you scroll down? Probably most of the time, you're with the 70% and look at the top results. So nearly 70% are given to the top 5. So if I'm going to, for example, search chair rentals near me, the search engine results page is going to come up, and I'm only going to look at everything above the fold. I'll only scroll down if the items above the fold seem irrelevant, or I'm looking for something more specific that's not showing. So if you're not coming up towards the top, it probably doesn't matter where you show up. People are not going to go out of their way to find you. SEO specifically is how you tell Google or other search engines that you have a high quality page and relevant for specific keywords. So you're telling Google, hey, when people look for this, show me. Google's job is to make searching easy for customers. If they don't do that and they serve up content that you don't want to see that's irrelevant, you'll quit using Google and go to one of their competitors. They won't have a business. So they're looking for relevance and high quality and to give their users a good experience. And there's many ways that they deem that something's high quality or relevant for specific keywords. And so that's what we're going to get into. This is basic SEO that we're going to talk about today. I call this low-hanging fruit, like I mentioned. If you do these 7 things, you'll find yourself at the top of many searches. And these don't have to take a ton of time. Just by having an SEO strategy, if you think back to the slide I showed a minute ago, you're going to be better off than 50% of businesses. So first, let's talk about Google My Business. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because my guess is that most of you already have a Google My Business account. If you don't, it's really easy to claim your business. But the thing that a lot of businesses don't do is make sure that all the information is correct and their Google My Business account is optimized. So you want to make sure you have the phone number. Reviews are very important. Reviews are a way to tell Google, hey, I'm a good provider. If you offer me up to your users looking for these types of services, they're going to be happy. You want to have a link to your website. If you have an office where people can visit you, you need to put your office of hours of operation on there, and you need to make sure that they're current. I don't know if this has happened to you guys before, but it has happened to me where I will pull something up. It says they're open. I drive all the way to the place and they're not open. It's a really bad customer experience. So put your hours on there, make sure they're up to date. If you're closing on Christmas Eve at noon, make sure it says that. And then down here, this is another thing that you can do. You can add products and images and prices. And so this is, most people are very visual, and this on Google My Business is going to make you stand out more than other ones. Next, let's get into a sitemap. So you may not even know if you have a sitemap, but most likely you do. A lot of popular website builders like WordPress or Squarespace will auto create the sitemap for you. I love starting SEO with a sitemap. So this is how you find it. You can use one of these extensions you see here. You just put your URL in and then follow it by sitemap.xml or one of these others. You can also go to Google Search Console and find out if they have a sitemap for you. If you don't have a Google Search account, you can get one. It's free, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. So it's always very eye-opening to look at a sitemap. Anytime I've ever looked at one with a company, 100% of the time, they say things like, oh, I didn't even know that page was still active. Or, wait a second, that page is really old. It shouldn't be on there. Or these two pages have similar content. So you need to go through, look what's on there. That's called a content audit. Redirect pages to more current pages. Get rid of pages that are old. Find gaps where you may need new pages. So all of this is very important, and you can see on the sitemap, it'll show when it's last modified. That's also an indicator to Google how often you update your website. So let's say you put a website up 10 years ago and you haven't made any changes to it. They're going to assume you're out of business. This site is not being kept up to date. So it is good to make updates to your site, and the sitemap show that. So the sitemap is basically the map that Google uses to find all of the content on your domain. You are effectively telling Google with this map, hey, please look at all these and index these pages. So it's really important to keep it up to date. Okay, next let's talk about page speed. At the beginning, you probably heard me mention high quality website. And one of the things to consider with high quality is user experience. So one of those, you've probably been to a website where it loads very slowly. So let's say you search something, you click it, and then you wait, and it takes forever to load. And by the way, forever is usually like more than 3 seconds. If it's more than 3 full seconds, people will hit the back button. And that's an indicator to the search engine that this is not either a good user experience or relevant content. This is called a bounce rate. And so when you click somewhere and then immediately bounce back, whether you see it or it doesn't load, but for whatever reason, you just hit the back button, that affects your bounce rate. It tells Google that the page didn't meet your needs, or it couldn't be used, or it was irrelevant. So Google will look at this metric and say, well, that was a bad experience. People don't want to go to that site. We won't show it at the top anymore. To be clear, however, before you get too nervous, this doesn't happen because one user does it. This happens over time, when, thousands of people go to your site, they get a percentage. And if they see this behavior over and over again, it's an indicator that it's not a good website. So here to check your page speed, you can go to this URL. Like Reagan mentioned, we're going to share the deck, so don't worry about taking notes. And it will come up and give you some results such as these, and you can see where you may have issues. Where I see most small businesses have issues is with images. So let's say you're at an event and you think, oh, this is a beautiful showcase of our tents. And you take a picture and then you run back to your office and you upload the image. That image is not optimized or compressed. So if you just do this one time, it's not a big deal. But if you do this over and over again across your website, it can really slow down your site, and you need to use, there's several resources that you can use to optimize and compress images, or if you use Tapgoods, Dominique will get into that in a bit, it's automatically done for you. So there are many ways to increase your speed, but the low-hanging fruit here is making sure that your images are optimized and compressed so they don't take too long to load. Okay, keyword research. You've probably heard this a lot, and maybe you wonder, why do I need to do that? I know what I sell, and I know what people are looking for. So that's my research. But let's talk a little bit more in depth about it. I want to tell you basically 3 reasons why you would use it. I've listed some free tools here. All of these, except Google Search Console, also have paid options that'll give you even more in-depth information. But really all you need to get started is the free tools. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to be looking for niche specific or longer tail keywords. So let's say you want to, a lot of smaller businesses may say, well, I want to rank for chair rentals. But you don't really want to rank for chair rentals across the United States. You want to rank for chair rentals in your area. It would be a very daunting task and probably a total waste of time to be the #1 ranking website for chair rentals across the United States, because you probably don't service the entire United States. So what you're going to be looking for is niche specific or long tail keywords. So if you're in Nashville and you rent chairs, you want to show up for Nashville folding chair rentals or folding chair rentals near me. A lot of people search up a keyword plus near me. And so those are going to be more specific and also better for you. You're going to get a higher conversion rate on those keywords. And you can use the free tools to hone in on keywords. And you can also put in your competitor. This is my favorite thing to do. You can put in your competitor's website and see what they rank for. That may seem like shady or sneaky, but everybody does it. They're doing it to you, so you should do it. If they have a lot of traffic they may have a lot of traffic for a keyword you haven't even considered. And now you can take that keyword and say, oh, well, let me build a strategy around this word because we rent that too. So another example is finding synonyms. So I'm going to give you an example there. So let's say you rent gazebos for weddings. These are just like little arches that people get married underneath. So you go to one of these tools and you put the word gazebo in, and you find a related word is huppah. And that's just a gazebo that's used in Jewish ceremonies. Now you can add the word huppah to your item description. And that's going to help your rankings, because now you'll come up for both the word gazebo and huppah. And Google most likely has already determined that these words are synonyms. So then you can find niche specific words. Maybe people, you can find something that may be trending. So maybe it's a certain use of an item. For example, I think historically throne chairs were used for weddings, like the couple may sit in the throne chairs in front, right? But now these throne chairs are being used for baby showers and quinceañeras. So it's great information to add to your page. Maybe you add things, maybe you talk about a wedding throne chair, you talk about a baby shower throne chair, and you talk about a quinceañera throne chair. And now you're going to be driving more traffic that's looking for your item, but it's a niche use. So again, free tools for keywords, and reasons to use this is to find synonyms, to find niche specific or different uses of items. And then, and very importantly, to do competitor research to see what your competitors are ranking for that you may also need to be ranking for. Okay, next let's get into the nitty gritty of how you can find out what's on your site now when we're talking about title tags. So we're going to look at title tags and meta descriptions. Title tags tell people that they are searching, when they're searching on the web, like if you see this, this is like a result. It tells people that, you know, what they're searching, and the description is the meta description. So in green there is the title tag, and below that is the meta description. So for title tags, you want to include keywords. If you have a brand that is big in your city and everybody knows about your rental company, you can use your company name in the title, but you only have 60 characters. So you may just choose to use specific keywords. Make sure to use something that evokes curiosity and makes people want to click. Something like highest quality or biggest selection, best prices, whatever it is that your target customer cares about, best service maybe. Why do people use you over other companies? Use that in the title tag. Make sure you don't use more than 60 characters or Google will cut it off and it may not make sense. So let me leave our slides for just a second. And I want to go to, I'm just going to the internet. I'm looking at Revental's website. And I just want to show you up here, this little bar, that's the title tag for this page. So it shows in the browser bar, the title tag is Revental's Nashville Party Corporate Festival and Tent Rentals. You can also do a right click on the page and go to inspect. From here, you can do a Command F or Control F. That's going to bring up the little find box, and you can type in title, and you can see the title tag is showing there. And you can also type in description, and you can see what the description for this page is. One thing to note, because I'm looking at the Revental's website in particular, Reagan mentioned it earlier. This is a marketplace I started that was acquired by Tap Goods last May. We have services in many cities. I'm looking specifically at the page in Nashville. If you have multiple locations, you have to have pages for each specific website. So this is the Nashville page. If we leave and we go and we just change and maybe we go to the Austin page, you can see our title tag up here changes to be Austin, and our meta description will also change. So let's go back to our deck here. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go to slideshow. There we go. Okay, now let's move on to the meta description. So the title tag, remember, is 60 characters. The meta description can be longer, 150 characters. You're going to give details about the page, and what you're doing here is persuading the searcher to click on the link. So again, make sure your keywords are in the title tag and the meta description. Let's say you want to show up for party rentals. You want the word party rental in both the title tag and description, and you're communicating with Google, hey, our site is about party rentals, or our site, this page is about folding chairs. I want you to note here below, if you don't define what the title tag and meta description is, Google will auto-assign them for you. And sometimes Google will auto-assign something that you do not want there. So this is an example of what you don't want. This is an item page for folding chairs, but the meta description talks about fulfillment and shipping times. I don't think that's going to make anyone want to click on that link, especially when it's basically saying that they're really long. So that's a bit on title tags and meta descriptions and things that you can do within the setup of your website to communicate well with Google. Most of these, if you're using WordPress or Squarespace or any of those, they have widgets where you can define the title tag and the meta description for each page. And again, Dominique will show you how to do it with Tap Goods. Okay, I mentioned Google Search Console earlier. I highly recommend you use this free tool. It's real easy to get access to it for your website. From here, you can monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site on Google. It'll show you how you're performing. It'll show you your most popular web pages. It'll show you what people are searching. They call them queries. What queries are driving traffic to your website? It'll show you pages that maybe have an issue and are not indexed. It means Google is not serving them up. It will tell you the reason maybe they're not indexed and how to fix it. So it's a wealth of information about how your website's doing when it comes to SEO. And it's really the map for your SEO journey. So you can go here and determine little things that you can do to help with SEO. So I recommend committing a certain amount of time each week. And having run small businesses my whole career, I know that is a big ask. Usually you get into a business and you're just trying to get your head above water. But if you can set aside even just an hour a week, it's so important. So I encourage you to block 1 or 2 hours a week that you can stop, look at Google Search Console, and then just do one thing. Do one thing each week, and over time, that adds up to a big difference. I'll turn it over to Dominique now, and she will get into Tap Goods and how to do these things specifically on our platform.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Candace. She really is such a wealth of information for us here at Tap Goods. So Tap Goods, renting made easy. That's something that's really important to us here. And SEO is just an area within our Tap Goods software that makes renting easier for you. We discussed the sitemap with Candace earlier, and this is just the way that Google goes in and can read and understand what your website is serving up. It crawls through here, and then it will serve up the most relevant data and information. Well, Tap Goods automatically creates the sitemap for you, so it's easier to have this accessible and your site easy to read by Google. Another area is that image compression. So if you're going to a show or event and you want to just snap some images of that inventory or that tent or a wedding that you've done, you can take those images even with your phone, and then you can go into your Tap Goods site and then upload those, and they will automatically compress for those faster loading speed times on your site. So it'll run smoothly. Also, your URL, we discussed this with Candace earlier. Your URL is going to come up in the browser already, so it'll be automatically added there. And that's just going to be something simple and easy that describes the item that you are listing. So here, instead of saying something like Dominique's favorite chair, instead you'd put a white folding chair. That's what people are going to be looking for. And this is the thing that's going to help people find you quickly from that URL. Once again, that'll come up in that main page that you were looking at. You'll see the description, that title tag. So first, I'm going to show you the two areas in Tap Goods where you can find this SEO. One of the areas that's accessible to all of our Tap Good users is in the inventory section. So when you go into your inventory, you'll click the edit button. Once you go to this page here, you'll find that you have your SEO meta description here. That's that section where you can go in and add all those keywords that you research. You can also add your title tags in here, anything that's going to sell people onto your site. You want to make sure that this is a little ad coming into maybe that chair that you were looking at earlier. Another area is if you utilize our Tap Goods storefront, you'll go into your category pages. There's SEO and metadata descriptions that are used in this section specifically. So any of your pages, you can add in those little descriptions, those little selling points. And then also you can create those URL captions here as well. If you are one of our storefront advanced users, we also have a way to connect your Google Analytics, your Google Tap Managers if you want to track from another site, or if you create ads with Facebook, you could also create those codes and put those in here, and that'll all be able to be tracked from your storefront advanced as well. So those are just a few quick ways that TapGoods makes SEO a little bit more accessible to smaller businesses. But if you do have any questions or need anything, please feel free to reach out to one of your relationship managers, your onboarding specialist, or even email us at support@tapgoods.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Dominique and Candice. We did have a few questions come in, so I'm going to go ahead and read some of those for you guys. So our first question is ChatGPT good for keyword suggestions?
I will take that. It's so funny whoever asked this because we were just talking about this before the call started today. I said, I bet we could do an entire webinar on using ChatGPT for keyword research. We were talking about that. Yes, ChatGPT is great for keyword research. If you're familiar with ChatGPT, you can put a prompt in and ask specific questions. It works very similar to the free tools I mentioned. It's all about, if you've used ChatGPT before, you've probably realized that it's all about the quality of the question that you ask. So I can find some specific prompts and share them with you guys to make sure that you're asking good questions to get good results out of it.
Awesome. Got another question. Does the order of the words matter for title tags?
Does the order of the words matter? The orders of the, let's go back to the title tag page. Let me go back. I think the order of the words matter for user experience. For example, on this one, I probably wouldn't have said folding chair white because I don't speak like that. I probably would say white folding chair. It does not matter, however, for Google's algorithm and SEO. So they're going to see, well, I mean, I guess it depends on, if we wanted to get technical, we would be talking about exact match versus phrase match. All in all, I think for the title tag, when we're talking big picture, Google is going to know that this page is about a white folding chair, whether you say folding chair white or white folding chair. A best practice would be to use it how most people would say it. And this is something you can find when you do keyword search. You could type in folding chair white and you could see how many searches per month people use saying it that way versus white folding chair. And then you could use the way that most people say it and search.
Awesome. Great information. We have one more here. Even though characters might get cut off, should I still add more than what the limit allows? And that I think is on the description.
Yes. No. I mean, there may be people that disagree with me. I don't because unless I guess the only caveat is if you go back and make sure that the first 150 characters make sense without the rest of the information, I would be fine with that. But if the first 150 depend on the next words to really complete a thought or make sense, I would not do that. But yes, you can use more than 150. Just make sure that the 150 makes sense and it's a good user experience.
Perfect. All right. And then could you go ahead and show how to pull up the title and description on a website again?
Sure. Yes, I can do that. Okay, let me get out of here. I'll go back to Reventals. You can't see what I'm doing with my fingers, but I'm doing a right click on the page. And then I'm just going down to inspect. And from inspect, I can do a command or a control F, which is just basically a command find or control find. And over here, I can search for title. And that brings up my title tag, or I can change my search for description. And that brings up the description, the meta description on the page.
Perfect.
So again, right click. I'll get out of here. We're going to right click and go down to inspect to get to that box.
Perfect. And then one more question along those lines. Could you go to one of the free tools to show us the keyword research?
Yes, I sure can. I'll go back here just so you can see what those tools were. Again, we are going to share this deck with you, but here's a list of, and there's more free tools. Somebody already asked about ChatGPT, great option. Uber Suggest, SpyFu are my favorite ones. So, and SEMrush is also good. So I'm just going to pull up Uber Suggest. You can see, by the way, his title tag is free keyword research. That's a great use of a title tag there. So from here, you can enter a keyword or you can enter a domain. So this is how you can search to see what your competitors' keywords drive that are just driving traffic to your competitor's website, or search specific keywords that you're considering. So let's do folding chair white. Okay, I can see that the search volume for that is 14,800. And then down here, I can see other keywords that come up: small folding chairs for sale, folding chairs for weddings, folding chair near me, white folding chair fight. That's interesting. I guess maybe people fight with white folding chairs. I'm definitely going to be searching that later today, but that's the keyword research brief tutorial. This would probably be another webinar that we could do and talk a lot more in depth about research, but this is a great place to get started.
Perfect. Thanks for showing those. Another one here, how do we find out where the competitors are ranking for?
Okay, we can do that from here as well. I'm in the free version of Uber Suggest, so you would see all the same things that I'm seeing. And I'm going to go here, and you can see in this box, it says enter a domain or a keyword. So let's pretend that Reventals is your competitor, which they're not. They're your friend. They will send you business. But let's pretend that they are. You can go here, you can see how many keywords they're ranking for, the monthly traffic, the domain authority, etc. You can go down and you can see their top pages that they're ranking for, and you can see the top keywords that are driving traffic to their site. So if you had a small rental company, you could go specifically to their website, see the top keywords, their top pages that they're ranking for, and all that information as well for any website, and anybody can do it. So you should definitely be doing it.
Awesome. And then another one here, how do we change the meta description or the title tag? You showed that.
Yes, that is a great question, and it's really going to depend on, how you are, what your site, where your website is hosted. If you are hosted on TapGoods, which we obviously highly recommend, you will go to your item. You can go to your item pages, and you can update your title tag will be the name of the item, and you can update your meta description on the item pages. If you are not using TapGoods, which many people, you just use our cart functionality, or maybe they're not using our platform at all, you're probably using WordPress or something of the like. And I would WordPress usually works off of a widget, but you can do WordPress, how to find meta description or how to change meta description. And there's lots of helpful articles. The Yoast SEO is probably WordPress's most popular widget, and it helps you with SEO throughout your site, and you can use it to define this information. But just do a quick search. If you have trouble finding it, whoever does your website for you can probably help. You can also ask us.
Great. We've got some great questions coming in. So I have a two-part question for you next. How long does Google take to listen to revisions? And then how often should we refresh those keywords?
Oh, I like this one. Okay. I am going for this. Let's head into Google Search Console. So how long does Google take to listen to revisions? Google is always crawling websites. I don't know. I'd have to look how often they crawl every website in the world, but you don't really have to worry about that, because if you make changes to your site and you go to up and you you're like, oh, I just made a bunch of updates to this site. You can go to Google and you can, let's say we have a party drink calculator. How much alcohol do I need? Okay, let's say we just made pages to that. We will ask Google to give us information. And then from here, it's like, okay, it's being indexed. It's telling you all about this page looks great. And then you can say request indexing. And that will put you in a priority queue for Google and tell Google, we need to go back out, and we need to crawl this page because they've made changes to it. And that usually takes 24 hours or so. Okay, I know that was a twofer and I feel like I only answered one for. So what was the second half?
Good. Yep. How often should we refresh those keywords?
You don't have to refresh like white folding chair. You don't have to like refresh that specific keyword, but I think maybe the question is more like, for that item page, how often should I go look at keywords and maybe make updates to that page? You know, big companies have whole departments that do this every day full time. It's not realistic and it's not the best use of your time to do that. I recommend for your most important pages, the pages that drive the most traffic to your website, you should be doing that a minimum of every 3 to 6 months. You don't have to take a lot of time. Just say, you know what? These are the top 20 items I rent. These are the items that drive the most traffic to my website. I'm going to take 1 hour every 3 months and I'm going to do keyword research and make these small updates. I mean, that is a 2-hour project. If you do it every 3 months, that's 4 times a year. We're talking 8 hours for the whole year, big results.
Awesome. We're getting close to the end here. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to send those in this chat. But I've got one more here for you. Where can you locate the page on TapGoods to input your Google Tag Manager? And I believe that's a question for Dominique.
Yeah, I can definitely take that. Give me 1 second. Let me need to be able to share the screen. Wonder if that's something I will be able to do. No, it won't let me share my screen, but that's okay. If you go into your account and you go to your admin, you'll go into your storefront. If you have the TapGoods Advanced, you will see the little SEO metadata data at the very bottom. It'll be the last thing on your category. When you click on that, it'll pull up the screen here. And you'll be able to copy those Google Tag Managers in there. But just a reminder, that is for our storefront advanced only. But if you do have any extra questions or need any help finding or locating that, you can always reach out to one of us and we'll be happy to get on a call with you and walk through it with you as well.
Perfect. Awesome. I think that's all of the questions that I have so far.
Great. Well, I just encourage everybody to reach out and let us know what other topics that you want to hear about, whether it's SEO related or really anything related to your business. We have a whole team of experts in different areas and like to provide those resources to our clients and other people in the industry.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you, Dominique and Candace, for coming on here and giving everybody some great information and answering all of those questions. If you guys do have any more questions that you think of, please feel free to reach out, to your person, your representative at TapGoods. We are happy to help. And then a copy of this deck and a recording of this entire webinar will be sent to everybody that attended. So you'll be able to watch this back. And if you do have any questions, of course, just reach out to us. But we would just want to thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.